So, but part two is mainly about myself, or an adult, you or whoever is reading, whoever's watching this, as much pressure as I and this is what I'm finding out now, because like I go through struggles myself. So I'm looking at me putting pressure on my kids. I'm like, I should have that same pressure on myself. Okay, the exposure thing, I have no problem with that, because I'm always exposing myself to something higher, to something better, because I've just always been that way. Like for me, I'm a problem solver. So if something is not going right, I try to find out how to solve that problem. And given the fact that we have so much knowledge out there, not every knowledge is good. Not everything is correct, but given the fact that for the most part there's good knowledge out there if you know how to look for it, I try to figure out how to become better. You know what I mean? So the whole exposure thing is not the problem. Now, the being hard on myself, I think that I can work on that, and I think many people can work on that, because I don't think I'm as hard as I'm on myself as I am with my kids. I give myself a lot of slack. You know what I mean? And I shouldn't, that affects me. You know what I mean? Like, so, and this is something that it's just been boiling up in my head, because obviously, you know, I try to think on how I can do better, and I'm starting to be more like more aware. Like I think I've always been aware of things, but I'm starting to be more aware of myself. You know what I mean? Because maybe it's the age. I mean, I'm 28, so maybe it's the age. If you're watching this and you're younger, like if you get this younger, like you're gonna even be in a better place, I think, because some people are doing really good, and don't need this kind of advice. But sometimes this serves as a kind of like helps out when you're going, like we all have our stages, the up and down. Like when you're down, this serves people. You know what I mean? And this is what I'm trying to do with people: serve them. So I think putting pressure on yourself. If you put pressure on your kids, if you put pressure on your kid, and you're a good parent. Like have that same pressure on yourself. You know what I mean? Like don't just, like, at least for me, like this is my truth, right? Like I don't just want to go home and watch TV. Like I like watching TV and whatnot, but if like I realized, if my kids, if I'm watching TV and my kids are doing their homework, and they're out there just like, I mean, sometimes homework's not fun, you know what I mean? And they're over there and I'm watching TV, like, no, you know what I mean. So I keep myself busy, you know what I mean. And if I've always done that, but like I realize that even more, you know what I mean. Like I need to push myself. I need to be hard on myself. Like me being self-employed, I need to be 10 times more harder on myself than people are normally, because there's no one behind my back telling me what to do. There is no, like, no actual structure. Like if you go to work for a company, a well-known company, and they have a awesome structure where you clock in at this time, you know you clock in at this time, you have lunch at this time, and then you keep working until 6 o'clock. Like no one has that upon myself. No one has that on me. So I had to put that for myself. You know what I mean? I have to put that pressure on myself. And if I'm slacking, I need to be hard on myself. I need to, like, sometimes I yell at my kids. I think it's normal for parents to do that. Some parents don't do that at all. I mean, that's you. But I yell at my kids. I tell them to hurry up. I tell them, hey, like when they make mistakes, I tell them you should know better. And sometimes they should know better, but I should have that same that same pressure on myself. Like I should know better. Like I shouldn't be doing this. Like I should know better. Like I should like I should not be doing this, or I should be doing this. You know what I mean? And that's with my eating habits. That's with my work schedule. That's with my exercise routine. Like I should be very hard on myself. You know what I mean? And I encourage you guys to be hard on yourself. It's okay. Okay. Like, and another thing is that some people are very sensitive, and and are being okay with being too sensitive. Like put pressure on yourself. You can handle a lot more. You know what I mean? Like if something's going wrong in your life or whatnot, like at least this is how I see it. Like you can take a lot more on. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's those things that are just. I mean, they're hard. You know what I mean? Like I'm not talking about like. I'm not talking about death. I'm not talking about like these things that you would never imagine. But I'm talking about these day-to-day things that we go through that is normal. Okay, like it's okay to get like there's traffic. You know what I mean? Like some people freak out over traffic. Like it's part of life. You know what I mean? Like Like now you know we need to leave earlier. You know what I mean? Like you can't be mad at like those things. You need to put pressure on yourself and tell yourself like you gotta do better. You gotta leave earlier. You know what I mean? Those things you gotta have. You can't be so soft on yourself. You know what I mean? Like, and some people are too soft on themselves, or they want somebody to baby them. Like, you can't baby them. You're not a baby. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to just be held by the hand and be told that it's okay and it's fine. We have friends for that. We have family members for that, but you have to rely on yourself more than anybody. So you have to put pressure on yourself. You know what I mean? That's something like the exposure thing. I don't have any problem with the pressure. I do need to put more pressure on myself. You know what I mean? And no one's gonna do it. And sometimes I want some like I'm so you like I grew up working like with that idea that there's always gonna be a boss. You know what I mean? There's always gonna be someone telling me what to do, and that's something else that I have to like that I do battle with, you know what I mean? Because being self-employed, like you're your own boss, you know what I mean? You have to tell yourself to work because it's so easy not to do it, you know what I mean? It's so easy to just lay in bed or so easy just to watch TV, you know what I mean? Like you have to put that pressure on yourself to work, to be productive, you know what I mean? Like there needs to be like in my job in what I do, there needs to be sales. There needs to be sales, like, and there is no sales. You need to go find sales, you know what I mean? So I think that we need to put that pressure on ourselves. And the last but not least, you need to have conversations with yourself. Like, am I being too hard on myself? Well, how can I improve in this thing? Like, this keeps happening over and over. Like, what can I do? What's the issue here? Like, you need to ask yourself these questions. You know what I mean? Like, you need to have that conversation with us. Like in part one, we went over pressure and exposure, but also conversation with your kids to know where they're at. You need to have those conversations with yourself. You know what I mean? To see where you're at. Like, because sometimes people battle with being tired or having this anxiety. Like, you need to have the conversation with yourself. Like if you can't sleep at night, like you need to have that conversation with yourself. Like, why can't I sleep this much? You know what I mean? Like, why can't I sleep? Usually for me, what I've seen in my life is that if I'm anxious at night, it's because I didn't do enough during the day. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not tired. Like, I could have done more. You know what I mean? Maybe for the most part, that's always why I have anxiety, because I could have done more. You know what I mean? I've wasted too much time, too much time that I then at the end of the day I try to like have like do something, feel like I'm doing something, feel like have that feeling where I'm ending the day instead of me being so productive that when it's time to sleep, like it's time to go to sleep. I'm tired. You know what I mean? So some people do like I'm not knocking anxiety. Like I know people that that have high levels of anxiety and they take medication and whatnot. So I'm not knocking having, but for the most part, what I've seen, my truth, my opinion is that if you have high levels of anxiety, you're not doing enough. You know what I mean? Like you have too much time for yourself that it becomes destructive. You know what I mean? Instead of being constructive, it starts to be destructive because you that flow of energy that you have trapped inside yourself is not being released out. You know what I mean? And then that goes with emotionally or mentally, you feel disappointed because you feel disappointed because you didn't do enough or you didn't do what you were supposed to do, so it keeps you up at night. You know what I mean? So that's my truth. That's my opinion, and that's what I've seen. You know what I mean? And it's not hard to figure these things out because things are out there. Like like there's so much knowledge out there that you can learn about yourself. You know what I mean? Like that's what people don't do. They don't do. Like they know more about other things that doesn't that has nothing to do with them. Um, like TV shows and whatnot. Like it's okay. I mean, I understand. They're entertaining. I like TV shows too, but they know more about like a TV show than they know about themselves. You know what I mean? Like I think it should be it should that I think that what's priority. Like you need to understand yourself. You need to learn more about yourself, and also have that time for entertainment. But I don't think that most of the time should be focused on entertainment and little time to learn about yourself. Like I think there's so many people going um, reaching a point in their life where they feel miserable. It's because they don't understand themselves. They don't understand why they're feeling a certain way. But like and then there's other people that are exceeding. They're excelling at younger ages or doing so good, because I think in my opinion, my truth is because they understand themselves, or they understand the way things work. You know what I mean? And it's not hard to understand those things. It's out there. You know what I mean? Anyways, put pressure on yourself, expose yourself to more, and have conversations with yourself. Know yourself. You know what I mean? Once you get to know yourself, you know who you are. You know what I mean? No one else can put something upon you because you know who you are. You know what I mean? Like, no one can tell you that you're this or that, because you know your truth. You know who you are. You know what you react to. You know what I mean? Like, you know how to put yourself in situations, how to put yourself out of situations, because you know who you are. You know what I mean? So that's part two of this. You know what I mean? Pressure, exposure, and conversation. So hope this helped you. This is what I'm going through right now. There's things that I'm going through in my life. You know what I mean? So um, leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you're going through. You know what I mean? Let's have this conversation. Peace.